Hello, everyone. It's Chi again. I'm back to share healing messages from my soul with you as I go along my own healing journey, healing from breast cancer and all the trauma of the past, and venturing into the unknown of a new and higher way of being, full of possibilities, self-acceptance, self-love, peace, well-being, abundance, and joy. So, thank you for joining me on this journey. I love you. I appreciate you and honor you on your unique journey also. So today, let's breathe deep breaths of appreciation for life. We are here, present together in this moment. It's day 9 of my fast, and it's mostly water and green juice in pretty small quantities, like 6 to 8 ounces a day, and sometimes some green tea. If I get a little queasy, sometimes I'll have like half a banana or a small piece of fruit, other types of fruit, like a cherry or a grape. And then if I eat that, then the queasiness will go away. My mental clarity is so still and so quiet. I just feel like I'm a huge ball of potential. And having all my free time spared, I'm not thinking about food because I kicked the food addiction. I'm not preparing food. I'm not making plans to go out to eat. It's just freed up my social schedule to focus on self-care and my own creative expression, which in my case does not involve food. It is just about kind of tuning in and integrating the energies that I feel when I meditate and integrating it into my beingness, my body, to help myself heal and become whole. And it's working. Amazingly, it's working. So I just follow my intuition step by step. Now I am, I think almost 17 months into my diagnosis, so I'm not at the early stages where things are a little bit more frantic and confusing and you're trying so many different modalities when you choose the natural course. Because even if you go on chrisbeatcancer.com, and Chris work, he saved me. He got me into holistic healing initially because I had a terrible diet and a terrible view of my body before the diagnosis, and I was pretty much overweight, pushing 160 pounds. So I'm a lot lighter now. But anyways, his website is amazing. His book is amazing. He's very inspirational. Check out his website, chrisbeatcancer.com. Tons of testimonials. Just the other day, I saw a testimonial on his website, an Australian woman, not much older than me. She was in her late 50s, and I'll turn 51 in August. But she had been diagnosed 10 years ago. And it was pretty bad. I mean, hers was ovarian cancer, I think, but it was pretty bad. And they told us she didn't have long to live. And of course, she, like me, just did not believe in the chemo. She wanted the holistic healing, the natural healing for herself. And so she went on, this natural journey, plant-based diet, green juicing, emotional purge was huge for her as it was for me. And, purifying the body of all the dense emotions from childhood trauma or just everything we keep inside of us. Ovarian cancer, there's certain things that she went through in her life, people pleasing and just suppressing kind of like her authentic voice. She was bearing that in her body, and it manifested as ovarian cancer. And for me, my left breast, I buried a lot of anger and rage, because being a starseed, I'm super sensitive, even as a child. And I had a pretty tough childhood where there was a lot of restrictions and a lot of rules and a lot of verbal and physical repercussions, if I stepped out of line, and I could not voice dissension. I could not voice my anger. So it was just, kept getting suppressed. So and of course, now it manifested as the left breast cancer. And there's more to cancer than just, suppressing your anger from childhood. But for me, it was a big part of it, and there were just many other things. We can get more esoteric. There was a lot of, ancestral lineage density that I had to clear. I'm Vietnamese, so I'm from a kind of a war-torn country, so there's a lot of healing that needs to go on there. And whatever's in our DNA, we have to heal. We inherit that throughout our incarnations and through our ancestral lineage, our genetics, our DNA. So it's a very complicated, profound, intricate journey that you don't pick it. You don't choose this. I mean, your ego self just wants to, live a comfortable status quo kind of life, right? And just be left alone. But that is not going to happen, because there's a reason why we've incarnated in physical bodies on Earth. And it is to transcend, transform through our experiences, both good and bad. The more contrast, the more transformation. So that's why you don't judge other people. Focus on your own experience so that you can do what you came here to do. Okay? Comparing or projecting outwards towards other people to try to make yourself feel like you belong, or that you're okay, that's not going to work out for you. Okay? You have got to take control of your own body and your own life experiences. Okay? But like I said, the ego's in a fishbowl. Okay? It doesn't know about air. It doesn't know where its food really comes from, where its source of life really comes from, right? So there is something beyond us that is feeding us life and resources and information and experiences, so that we can grow and become the beautiful, divine human beings that we are. So that's my healing journey, and it's all unique, but there's a common thread, and that common thread is towards greater expansion into self-love, into a state of higher being where you are at peace with your world and flowing and co-creating with whatever presents in the present moment without resisting and without judging it. And that's where your power is. Your power is not out there or in a book or in a religion or in a guru or some other leader or specialist. Your power is within you. Not the fishbowl you, okay? But the real you. The one that is feeding your fishbowl. You're feeding your fish in the bowl and admiring your fish. So, but then you are also your fish. You are also your ego aspect. I mean, you're all of it. And yet, really, none of it, because it's all happening within your container of consciousness, your container of awareness. Yeah. So when you have this holistic kind of big picture view of your true nature, life becomes a little less threatening than having the fish in the fishbowl perspective. Both perspectives are fine. They're both part of your journey. Play around with it. You cannot fail at this game of life. This holographic 3D game of life. It's all for you. Okay, so now I'm going to switch topic a little bit about, because my last video I talked about going to the doctor for my arm. You see, it's still swollen, getting better day by day, okay, and my skinny arm. Because as I was saying regarding that Australian woman, on the testimonial video on chrisbeatcancer.com, she healed her breast cancer holistically over the course of 10 years to this very day. She's alive and well, cancer-free. Her breast lump is gone. It was a similar size as my breast lump. Is it her breast lump? Oh, wait. I said ovarian cancer. I'm trying to not confuse this with another testimonial that I saw about ovarian cancer. Okay, I got it. It was two testimonials. One was ovarian cancer and another was breast cancer. So I'm going to go with the breast cancer because it's more relevant to me. Okay, so yes, there was this woman also in Australia. She had breast cancer and she that was diagnosed 10 years earlier. And to this day, she is cancer-free naturally. And she was, I think she was somewhat early stage, like stage 2 or 3 at the time, okay? And they told her she had to go get chemo, the usual stuff. And she did submit to a core needle biopsy of the breast tumor, and it was cancerous. So confirmed cancer, right? Like me. And also she had a swollen lymph node like me. I had actually several, but I had one big one. And so she had one. And so she went through her journey and did a lot of stuff similar to what Chris Beat Cancer suggests, you know, the whole vegan juicing. And she also did vitamin C IV therapy. And she did go see an integrative doctor who did some other stuff for her. She did a lot, actually. And a lot of people who go natural do a lot. They invest a lot because they're very passionate about healing. So she did all of that and emotional healing. And that was really big for her. So she had to let go, you know, of a lot to heal herself. And she was like me, where everything was kind of buried subconsciously. And she was totally happy-go-lucky, didn't think anything that she was depressed or anything, right? But then she went deep, deep, deep into it because you have to do the deep work to get to get to the buried stuff, because it's all very suppressed, very subconscious. So you're just not unconsciously aware of all this baggage that is within you. So she did all that, and what happened was the breast tumor was small to begin with. It was the first to go, and it went within probably the first year, a few months, like mine. But the armpit lumps stuck around like mine, and actually mine kind of, got worse and affected other lymph nodes and everything like that. So mine flared up recently and caused this lymphedema. But she said that part took her body a while to resolve, even though she went through all of that. So it gave me a little bit of peace and relief to know that, those little armpit lymph nodes, they don't always, go like that, they don't shrink like that. And it could get worse before it gets better, so the natural healing journey, you don't need to be getting scans all the time, if you are all in, right? Now, if you're one of those people who are like thinking, oh, maybe I'll try natural for a year or two, and if things get worse, then I'll gravitate back towards conventional. Well, that's kind of like being like a house divided within itself. You've got one foot hedging, towards the kind of like the older conventional, not older, but what's the word I'm trying to say? Conventional, okay, the conventional, and then one foot in kind of like more of the holistic. And that includes, emotional purging, energy healing, and also diet, nutrition. If you're divided like that, if you're like, I'll try this, and if it doesn't work, I'll try this. I have an insurance policy, I'll try this. Okay, you're wishy-washy, right? Versus just like straight and narrow path. I'm all in. I'm going to figure it out holistically, because I know that this is not my first rodeo on earth. And I know that I put this in front of me to resolve it within myself, heal it within myself, for real, within myself, okay? So that I can transmute it, and it will never be part of my energetic experience, and I can project that healing, through to my future generation or my future selves, and so it gets stored within my energy field, okay, which is eternal, okay? Your energy field is eternal. Your physical manifestation is temporary, but your energy field, everything that you've experienced, on earth, is recorded energetically. It remains within your field, which is part of the field, the unified field of consciousness. Okay, so back to healing breast cancer. So what I learned from other people's testimonials is that I have to have patience. I'm selecting a path that is holistic, so many moving variables, and it's not about the destination, getting a cancer-free screen from the doctor. That is not the objective. The objective is healing holistically all the way through, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and uplifting your vibration so that your present moment experience is more than it was just before. And the next experience could be more, not in a linear way, but more in an expansive, heartfelt way, where you're just breathing in more of life with every breath, just so aware, so conscious to the moment, and not let your ego mind push you and pull you into many, many, many directions, playing its beautiful mind games of what if, shouldn't we, too bad, we don't have this or that, let's go get this or that. It's all fun and games, but if you just say, thank you, ego mind, but let's just play the game of stillness for now. Then we get in touch with our true nature. Through the breath, our energy will flow back to us because we're not letting the ego mind project out. Quantum healing occurs in this stillness. Now we move into the body, right? We're here now with our awareness. We just move into the body with it through the breath. And then you just breathe into any density. Of course, for me, I'm feeling density here, right? You might feel density elsewhere. I just breathe into that density. I feel into it with every breath, and I just sit with it. And there are no thoughts in resistance to it, just sitting with it. And after a few breaths, I feel shifts in movement, and I feel energy intermingling with those pulsating, inflamed areas, and it starts dissolving. And then pretty soon, in deeper meditation, all I feel is just the energy. And that's when, in stillness, we can reset. Right? Reset our bodies, the cells within our bodies. And then eventually, over time, remember, natural healing can take time. Over time, the body gets the message that there's a new sheriff in town. And that sheriff is the real you, who's not complaining about life anymore. If you're not complaining, you let your body know with every breath that all is well. Eventually, your body will get the message. So, initially, even with natural therapies, people who are trying to heal are a little frantic. They want everyone's opinion. They want to look into every modality. But eventually, at least with me, you'll settle in and you'll tune in. And you'll feel a guidance towards certain things, but the primary, foremost thing that you will be guided to do is to be still and not be frantic, not be searching to fix things. Because your cancer is not there for you to fix it, okay? Or even to fix you. Your cancer is just there just to say, okay, stop running around. Stop running away. Stop avoiding. Stop chasing. Just be still. Because the body is overwhelmed with your frantic running around. and there isn't enough life force within you moving through your body to release all the buildup, toxicity, and density. So start with meditation, breathing, and stillness. And if cancer is not the wake-up call for you to do that, then it's just perhaps a different journey for you, right? And probably you wouldn't be listening to this message. So, but my healing message for today is very much to trust your journey. Breathe back into the present moment. And be still. Okay, so now I've kind of finished my story about how the woman in Australia with the breast cancer, not the ovarian cancer, that's another woman, helped me because, I know now to be more patient with my lymph nodes, that they're going to take a little longer probably. Now, I'm not trying to project onto me her story, but I'm taking from her story what is useful for me to bring me back into alignment. Okay? Now, has she gone through something more difficult, that I don't want to go through? Then of course, I'm not going to take that and pull it into my reality and say, oh, okay, I want more challenges. Remember, ego never wants any of this. Ego wants to be left alone, right? So, and so, you are both aspects, higher and ego, right? Okay, so self-mastery is about knowing that both is contained within your awareness, right? And both is part of your wholeness, so that you can consciously flow with life. Okay? Being aware of both, being in peace and harmony with both. Okay, so my natural path, as I was saying before, I saw her about the arm, and I hadn't seen her in a while, and it's only the third time I saw her. And she's like the fourth or fifth naturopath that I've seen. Not all naturopaths are the same. It's actually more frustrating working with naturopaths than regular doctors, because regular doctors have a lot of cohesive policies and procedures, standard of care, so that if you went to see a doctor about lymphedema in New York, and then you went to see some other doctor in California, both are probably going to pull the recommendations from a similar database, right? Whereas naturopaths are different, they're all different. I've had one naturopath tell me that she was so in alignment with Western medicine, but she literally said, oh, I'm just not comfortable working with you until you actually receive chemo. Okay, most naturopaths by law just have to check to make sure you have an oncologist. They're working with an oncologist and stuff like that. But what your choices are, what you want to do regarding chemo or not. They're not going to let that. They're not going to tell you to go get chemo. Okay. But some naturopaths will, the ones that are more in alignment, with your oncologist, and you know who they are. They're the ones that your oncologist will give you a pamphlet. They're the ones that are in the brochures, and because they're all part of the same system, right? And then there's some more independent naturopaths that kind of are like more operating outside the system, but also more mainstream, okay? And those ones will say, oh, it will be wise for you to get cancer treatment, in addition to doing supplements and vitamin C, IV therapy, and naturopathic medicine. Okay, so there are those. Okay, and then there are naturopaths that are really out there, more in the energy medicine world. Okay, now in my viewpoint, energy medicine is the future of medicine, right? Because all really is energy. Okay, we obsess about physical manifestations because that's all we can see and measure. Okay, but I can tell you for sure, since I've gone through so much purging and lightening, that energy is really what we are. All I feel is energy. Most of the time, I feel vibration of energy moving around my field, within my body, outside of my body, around me, and I can telepathically read other people's energies and oftentimes their thoughts. Okay, and again, I'm just sharing. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I'm just sharing from the heart, okay? So, yes. So we are energy beings, okay? And so we do not integrate energy medicine into our wellness systems. We're just missing out on a huge body of information and technology that can really alleviate our pain and suffering, okay? And again, this is from my personal perspective, because I'm telling you, when I work with energy, integrating it into my body, I feel wonderful, and the pain moves out when I do this, okay? And there is no suffering, okay? All right, so my naturopath, and I'll tell you her name because it's good for her business, right? Her name is Dr. Thi Nguyen, Thi Nguyen, Nguyen. Her business is called Butterfly Medicine, and she has an office in Lake City. You can probably Google her, okay? Right, so she's an energy medicine doctor. She has a naturopathic degree and an acupuncturist training. Okay, so she does both, because acupuncture is energy medicine, if you don't know, right? So my personal position is I gravitate more with the doctors because of personal experience, because I've had many naturopaths all through the different stages that I've told you, okay? So I've had like all these different naturopaths, right? Dr. She is the one that's helped me the most, and she literally have barely touched me. She's not even given me one prescription. So that is just how wonderful energy medicine is. It's just so subtle, so I can't even explain it in words because it bypasses the ego mind, okay? And it's the forefront of healing is energy medicine. And so working with Dr. T, so let me tell you more about her, okay? She's a very rare naturopath. She, like me, is an intuitive. She had to heal her own chronic illness. That's why she's so good at it, right? So do not feel that you are less than because you have a chronic illness, because it's a potential, it's a seed of potentiality within you to really transcend and really use that illness as a driving force to enable you to tap in to your higher power, okay? And that's exactly what she did, because she went through all sorts of conventional treatment. It never cured her lupus and just got worse and worse over time. And so finally she just had a spiritual awakening and started going deeper and opening up herself to receive divine energy and her spirit guides. I don't know if anyone out there believes in spirit guides, but she actually is connected to her spirit guides. And when you connect to the higher realms, you receive divine inspiration. And whether you can distinguish them as kind of like distinct spirit guides or not, that's not important. I mean, I actually, now, when I receive divine inspiration, it's more integrated for me. So I feel more integrated. So I can't say, oh, just a second, spirit wants to say something, huh? No, I don't do that. It's more integrated with me. And I know when spirit comes out, right? When spirit comes out, it comes from deeper place inside of me, from the heart, okay? And it moves energy, and anything that's dense, as the energy moves out, will get pushed out, So sometimes I'll have some tears flow, when the spirit energy moves, through me strongly. So I'm a little more integrated than some people who have kind of like more of a I'm just gonna joke, I'm schizophrenic sort of like link, like, oh hey, hi, sort of thing, and channeling too. A lot of people can tune in and bring in a totally separate stream of consciousness, right? And whereas when I tune in, it's more integrated, right? It's more integrated, But yes, it's all one, right? And everyone has a different way of interfacing with their own energy. So there's no right or wrong. It's just you just naturally do what it is you're gravitated to do. Okay? And it's all by design, and it's all to help the overall consciousness of humanity evolve to a state of awareness and connection and well-being and love for each other, for ourselves, for the earth, and for the universe. And that's humanity's journey in a nutshell. And there is no destination, and there are no rules. Okay, so just relax. Try to get to know yourself. Stop trying to look out there for how to be. Be that blooming ego within that wants to be fully empowered, divine, co-creative, happy and joyful. So I love my naturopath, Dr. T, and she reads my energy and she gives me advice that is in alignment with me at my level. Some of her patients, she will do more physical stuff and give more prescriptions to, but with me, she just knows where I'm at. She just reads me. She says, okay, and she says, so next time, that you meditate, bringing in the bliss, just don't hang out in the bliss. Sometimes when I bring in the bliss energy, I hang out in the bliss energy, which is, she says, kind of like outside of my body, right? And the bliss energy is actually moving into my energy body, which is not visible to the human eyes, but since I'm energy sensitive, I am consciously, moving my consciousness into this bliss state, energy body. and kind of like avoiding, being in the physical body, because this physical body certainly doesn't feel all blissful. It feels heavy, restrictive, and it's got this swollen arm and aches and pains or whatever. Okay, so then she said, well, the point to energy healing is to bring this high vibrating energy body that feels so blissful. Okay, and if I get my consciousness there, which I do all the time, she says, to kind of bring it down into that physical body, because it contains within it the templates of the higher realms, which is the original template of health for this body. I mean, you were not born with illness, right? You were born with the original template, right? So it's just bring the template in there. So the illness is like, lifelong journey of having all the trauma and toxicity, and then you turn this this original template into something very distorted and full of illness, right? So she says, for me to use my focused awareness to bring it down, okay, and then vibrate it here, where I'm here, vibrating it in here like this, so that it recharges this kind of distorted template, right? And then starts kind of like moving, like overlaying and literally vibrating out all the density in this template so that this matches this. Okay, so that's kind of like her take on energy healing, which is awesome, because I'm kind of a little bit of a newbie energy healer. So my energy healing, is more like when you're learning how to be an artist. When you first learn, and you always have to go. Nobody just wakes up and they're functioning at a really high level of artistry. All artists have to learn by doing and playing with the materials. In this case, it's energy. So you have to play with it. Well, I am currently at the stage where I'm playing with it and really enjoying it, and not really focusing it to any particular task, right? So she's kind of helping me, because she's a lot further along. She kind of healed her lupus like 10 years ago, right? So she's further along in her journey, and that's what we do, right? We, on our journeys, look to someone who's a little further along, not for necessarily leadership, but just to maybe leadership, yes, but not to give your power to people who are further along, because you're trying to enjoy your journey, right? But it's nice to kind of look at people who kind of like are further along, in case on your journey you feel stuck or frustrated, and you want more forward movement, right? So it's nice to look further along and say, hey, I've got this block or this gap, and I'm not sure, how to navigate. How did you navigate? And it's not like we all run into the same exact block, but we all do run into blocks and challenges, right? So if the person, who's further along in their journey says, oh, this is how I deal with my block, then maybe you'll be inspired, or you'll be relieved, or you'll be calmed and soothed to just say, oh, well, I'm not sure how you do it resonates with me exactly, but I feel better now, because I know it's just part of the journey, and I can figure this out, or maybe I'll use some of your advice, and maybe I'll customize it, but whatever the situation, right? You, okay, are fine where you are, okay? So yes, I freak out too, but the freak out is very short-lived, okay? It doesn't have to be long, drawn-out angst and suffering, okay? Because there is light everywhere. There's information everywhere. There's frequency and vibration everywhere. You just have to be still, set an intention, to receive whatever it is you desire to receive, whether it be a healing modality, abundance, information that pertains to you, whatever it is, be still. Then you're less likely to be confused and overwhelmed. And always pick and choose from a place of self-love and self-care. Okay, that's my wellness message and my healing message for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. I love you. I honor you in your journey. Until next time, namaste.